Why is it that some paintings feel incredible when they are shrunk down to the size of a postage stamp, and others lose all sense of what it means to be a painting? There is a popular theory in art that if your painting can be shrunk down to that of a postage stamp or a postcard, and it retains its compositional strength, then it is a good painting. I wanted to test this theory on a couple of famous paintings, and we're going to play a game. I'm going to paint 3 famous paintings at the scale of a postcard and see how long it takes you to guess what the painting is. While I paint, I'm also going to be revealing some facts that I did not know and I'm reading for the first time. So we're going to learn something as well. All right. Let's begin. The artist behind this painting once described themselves as not very human. The spouse of the artist secretly documented nearly every argument they had for decades in handwritten journals. The scene in this painting is based on a real place, but if you tried to find the exact location today, you couldn't. Ooh. The painting accidentally helped define the visual style of lonely, late-night movies decades later. There is something oddly unsettling about this painting that most people never notice. There's no visible way to enter or leave the building. If you studied art history, you probably got it by now. When this painting was made, the harsh artificial lighting shown in it was still relatively new and modern. The artist almost never explained what their paintings meant and hated over-analysis from critics. Every story I hear about artists I dislike. This painting was created during World War II, and many people think the emptiness of the scene reflects the anxiety of the era. Now they're getting real easy. The painting shows 4 people sitting together late at night, but none of them appear to actually connect with each other. And finally, this painting became one of the most famous depictions of urban loneliness ever created. Now, you should have got it, but this is, of course, Nighthawks by Edward Hopper. Next famous painting. The creator of this painting was obsessed with science and treated painting more like a chemistry experiment than an emotional expression. The artist believed tiny dots of pure color could visually mix inside your eye better than mixing on a palette. I feel like at that one a lot of you just went, yeah, I already know what it is. People who saw this painting for the first time thought it looked bizarre, stiff, and unnatural. Bizarre, stiff, and unnatural. The worst things to hear on your wedding night. The artist was known for being extremely serious and socially awkward, and once spent days mathematically planning a single composition. Every artist is socially awkward. I'm socially awkward. Don't approach me if you see me in public. Almost every person in this painting appears emotionally disconnected, even though they're gathered in a public leisure space. One tiny detail in the painting caused controversy, because many viewers believed it hinted that a woman in the scene was secretly a prostitute. Ooh. How do you secretly hint at someone being a prostitute? And then in brackets afterwards, it says, the monkey detail. What does that mean? Do prostitutes have monkeys? And if so, it's not very secret. If I saw someone walking down the street with a monkey, I think I'd recognize that was a monkey, not a dog. The painting took 2 years to complete, including dozens of sketches and color studies painted outdoors. Now it's going to get real easy. The entire image is constructed from thousands upon thousands of tiny individual marks of color, instead of blended brushstrokes. The painting depicts people relaxing in a park, beside a river on a sunny French afternoon. And finally, this painting became one of the most recognizable works in art history. A Sunday afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte. A Sunday afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte. There's a weird fact here that it said the artist died incredibly young at just 31 years old before fully seeing how influential the painting would become. Not really weird, just sad. Sad fact. That's what that is. Sad fact. So, up till now, how are you doing? Are you guessing the paintings pretty quickly? I wouldn't. The artist behind this painting was so obsessed with nature that they once said, "Close your bodily eye so that you can see with the spiritual eye." Cult leader? Cool. The painter was known for hiking alone for hours through dangerous landscapes just to sketch ideas in terrible weather. Several artworks by this artist were later considered politically suspicious because they symbolize freedom and individualism. The figure in this painting is shown from behind, a technique that became so associated with the artist that it has its own art history term. The landscape in this painting isn't a real location. It was assembled from multiple places into one idealized scene. Many people interpret this painting as showing a human conquering nature, while others think it shows someone completely overwhelmed by it. The painting became massively popular online because people relate the feeling of standing alone and questioning their entire existence. Do they? Do they relate to that? Do they? I normally question my existence when I'm waiting in traffic. That tends to get me going. Rouse me up! The figure stands above a massive sea of fog while staring across distant mountains. The person in the painting is wearing a dark green coat and standing on a rocky cliff with their back turned towards the viewer. And finally, this painting became one of the most iconic images of solitude and romanticism ever painted. And that is, of course, Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog. Another weird fact, nice little weird tidbit that comes as additional facts, you know. The artist often painted cemeteries, ruins, and lonely figures. Again, not weird, just sad. Sad. Always a sad fact. Okay, how did you make out? What score did you get? Were you able to guess the paintings quickly?
Wow.
Did my terrible postcard sketch help at all? Which of these paintings do you think had the most recognizable composition? While I was doing these paintings, I was thinking, could I steal the composition of one of these famous paintings and apply it to one of my own? Would I then also create a masterpiece? Probably not, but it is still fun to try and it might make an interesting video. So let me know if you'd like to see that, and like, comment, and subscribe on this. I enjoy making these videos. Let me know if you enjoyed it too. Alright.